Hi everyone, Ben here from Sydney Fruit Gardening, and we're sort of middle of June at the moment in winter. We've had a really cold start to the winter up here in Sydney. We've had 2 weeks where we're regularly getting down to 2 to 3 C each morning at about 6 a.m. And tops in mid-teens, which for Sydney it's quite cold, and it's really what affects those tropicals is that dip in the morning down into the 2 to 3 degrees Celsius kind of range. So not good to have it so early in winter as well. There's still quite a lot of winter to go. So really, I just thought I'd show you how things are going, and probably one way of doing that is looking at the Rollinias. So I'll take you over here first, and what I've done in front of the tropical area is just placed the kids' trampoline right in front of all the sensitive tropicals. So you can see that there. I did that probably a little bit too late, and there was one day I remember quite strongly where the wind was there was quite a strong wind blowing and some cold temperatures. And there's one thing that tropicals, in particular Rollinia, hates, is that strong wind. So we'll show you how things are going behind the trampoline here. So there's a dwarf red dacre. It's copped a beating. You can see those split leaves up there. It's got a bit of yellowing on it, so it's not loving it. This is the Rollinia here. You can see the end of these branches. They've all lost their leaves up the top here. In particular, you can see you get these burnt tips. And why that's more of a problem with Rollinia, I think, is that it tends to die right back to the next node or the next branch. So it'll probably die back all the way down to here, maybe possibly all the way down to here. The dieback, once it gets cold affected, can be quite bad. So the Rollinia are semi-deciduous in cooler regions, is what it says on the internet. I think that's just code for it doesn't like the cold and it's going to lose some leaves. Oops, that just broke off then. Yeah, look at that. So it's not good up there, but the further down you go, the more protected it is from the surrounding trees. So you can see this big leaf has held on. Down here, we've got a few leaves. In here, it's actually looking quite good. It's got that cover. So I think this plan of building up the plantings right around the Rollinia, it's been a good plan. I think it's paying off. It's just this top bit that's really been knocked around. So that'll probably die back quite a way, but see down here, it's actually started to turn nice and brown, which I think indicates some bark and some cold hardiness. So now I've since sprayed it with Envy, which is a product, I might show you that a little later, supposed to give it another 1 or 2 degrees cold tolerance. Alright, now let me compare that. Now I should say this is the Dailies seedling Rollinia. I put it in a couple of years ago. I want to compare that to this Spaliad Rollinia, which I grew myself from seed. Okay, so that's it there. Now you can see the same issue up the top. It's lost a lot of leaves, but there's none of that really bad dieback. There are some some brown spots there, like that there. Here as well. Yeah, some of those fresh shoots that it had definitely have died back. That there, for example. That's just the top region. When you look below, though, it's not too bad. I mean, look, if you're watching from Cairns or the tropics, you'd say it's atrocious, but we're in Sydney, we've had 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, so I'm actually okay with this, to be honest. A little bit of dieback happening there. Yeah, I didn't see that before. But by and large, the ends of the tips where the dieback usually occurs, you know, I'm not really seeing it. And I think that's because of this somewhat sheltered location against a wall. Okay. It gets a little bit of protection from that Thai basil down the front, but you know, not a lot, right? Now if I go over here, and we'll check out the seedlings. So this is the nursery alleyway down the side of my house. And you know, this is quite a protected location. It doesn't get much sun, but have a look at these seedlings. They're all doing pretty good. There's no signs of dieback at all. Look, there's some yellowing of the leaves a little bit. Yeah, they're not as lusciously sort of green as they once were, but you know, I'm probably being a bit picky there. They're not too bad. So you can sort of see, to be honest, I think if you can get some seed, if you're in a more marginal location, and just grow your own Rollinia from seed, I think you're going to do a lot better, to be honest. Just my experience. Raising it in the climate that it's going to live in permanently, I think it'll do a lot better. As evidenced by that espalier one I've got against the fence, and you know, these little seedlings here so far doing really well, even though it's sort of protected location. All right, so that's just some thoughts there. You can see a few other things are doing all right as well. The jackfruit seedlings doing okay. Yeah, some of the Garcinias, Suriname cherry, Canistel. Listen, I've got a working theory that Canistel is actually quite hardy. Yeah, some of the guys down in Melbourne might be able to tell me how theirs is going, but up here in Sydney, and I'll show you the other Canistel in a moment, that's more exposed. These two, no trouble at all. These two seedlings. Listen, the little Soursop seedlings are copying it. They're not doing that great, but I don't really care too much about that. You know, survival of the fittest. The ones that haven't done well at all, Chempedak. Yeah, and I'm not fussed. I'm not trying to save these guys. Look, it was an experiment. I like jackfruit more than Chempedak, to be honest. Maybe I need to try more Chempedak, but the jackfruit does okay. So again, let's check out the Canistel. So I've tucked away some of these sensitive potted tropicals at the back here. 2 Canistels are here. You've got one little one down here, doing really good. Some crinkling on the leaves there, but not too bad. And you've got the big guy here. And he's been either attacked by something, or maybe that's wind damage. I'm not entirely sure. I think he's been attacked by something there, but yeah, some of the new leaves have either been attacked or hit by frost. But certainly some yellowing there. I gave it a spray of iron the other day just to try and help it. So definitely some yellowing of the leaves, but not too bad overall. And that's stayed out down to 2C so far. A bit more protected there, obviously. Black Sapote's doing really good. Really happy with that. Got some nice little fruit coming along here. You can sort of see there. That one's probably the biggest one. There's another 4 or 5 on there. It actually tried to flower again though. You can have a look here. Some flowers came out. So I don't know what will happen with those. I just feel it's a bit too late to turn into anything meaningful. It did get a little bit of damage. You can see that there. It lost 1 or 2 leaves, but overall it's done well. Black Sapote's pretty hardy to the cold. Loquat's another one that just doesn't seem to have any cold issues. that I'm finding. It's even trying to shoot out new growth. Patanga tuber seems fine. Peanut butter fruit, look, it's doing okay. If anybody knows what this is on my Cape gooseberry. I seem to always get it whenever I plant Cape gooseberry, and the tree just dies. So it's a kind of rambling thing, so I may get rid of it anyway. The Panama Berry, guys. Let's see. I want to show you this. It's certainly copped a beating, put it that way. Look up the top there, you can sort of see a lot of missing leaves, a lot of bent over leaves, but it's still alive. The further down you go, of course, the nicer it looks. You look at this, still sending out new growth over here. Yeah, so it's doing okay, but you can see that, you know, it definitely copped a beating, right? If I just pull this down here, have a look at that. Yeah, leaves that were just torn apart by the wind. Yeah, again here. And this is early in winter. I wish this came at the end of winter, not so early. Jackfruit's doing okay. You know, it's getting a little cold affected with some of these little crinkly leaves. I've sprayed that one with Envy as well, so hopefully that'll help it. Yeah, banana's doing okay. Miracle berry stayed out just under the cover of this banana. Miracle berry so far, it's doing okay. This is a blue Java banana, by the way. All right. I will show you this product quickly. Envy, heat and frost protection, moisture loss, wind burn, sunburn, frost. So what I've been doing is just, I sprayed the sensitive tropicals with this. You mix it up with water, you know, let it set for 2 to 3 hours, and it gives that little sort of almost plasticky coating on the plant, and helps protect them from frost. So it's just been using that and a bit of sea salt, to be honest, helping to get them through this cold snap that we've been having. A cha-cha hasn't, yeah, it does get affected a little bit, but you know, not much. What you start to see is a little bit of this kind of thing, right? Just some of the leaves just die a little bit like that. It doesn't mind winter too much, to be honest. So, you know, it's even put out some new growth recently up the top here. So it's doing good. This little sugar banana's doing okay. Bishop Crown chilies still spitting out heaps of chilies. Take it to the avocado. Avocado's doing good. You know, avocado's put out this new growth. Taken a while to push out this growth, but there it is. Don't know if you guys can sort of see that black kind of stuff on there. Is that, let me know, is that sort of a fungus or something I need to worry about, or is that just how avocados are? I don't know. I haven't grown avocado before. This is the worst avocado, guys. Not the worst, the worst. So, yeah, it's doing fine. This greenhouse has had it. I don't know if you can see, but all these holes are, well, the plastic in between the holes is completely shot. So, yeah, my plants are kind of too big for it now anyway, and I figure, look, if they're not going to survive outside eventually, then I'm not going to be building some big greenhouse, so I'll let a few of them go for a bit outside, like this Canistel tucked away here behind the other ones. We'll see how they go over winter. I've got, there's 2 Canistel seedlings here and there's another 3 over there, so we'll see how they all end up. Blueberries tried to flower recently. Blueberries are a very weird plant for me. Very specific needs around acidic soil and free draining soil, and some are deciduous, some aren't. I don't know. I don't get them. They rarely perform well for me. Any blueberry growing tips, let me know, guys. All right, I'll show you a few other bits and pieces. The Kampong white sapote's doing good. It's spitting out some new growth there, up the top there. It's doing alright, a little grafted Kampong, so happy with that. This potted apple decided it would flower. It's a winter banana apple, and I'm just going to let that go, see what happens. I've got heaps of those potted banana apples, so Kwai Mook, getting that thing that they do, like that little purplish thing whenever some cold weather comes along, but it's doing okay. Getting a little bit worried I probably planted it too close. What do you think, guys? That's my, it's a hand width or so. Yeah, about a hand width or so. So let me know what you think. Is that too close? Should I try replanting it? You get some morning sun from here down onto it, and this is where my little raspberries come up, and it seems like I must have thrown a lot of achacha seeds there, so lots of little achachas coming up. Cedar Bay cherry unfortunately looks like it's got myrtle rust. For those of you dealing with myrtle rust, is it, do you just sort of deal with it, or do you get rid of the plant? Anyway, I tried to put some Munkazeb on there, see what happens. Spalliard Jackfruit's doing okay. Dwarf Groomy Chummer's doing okay. The peach is losing its leaves, going into winter mode. The Suriname cherry, I think the Suriname cherry was the source of the myrtle rust, to be honest. Some of that, so I don't know. It tried to fruit again, but just never quite got big enough before the cold weather set in. The grafted apples. Got heaps of apples this season, really happy with that. I put on a few more grafts as well. I'm going to be putting on even more this year, so I'll do another video on those. The grafted Luke's Garcinia. It never really grew much at the top here. If I can get the thing to focus, there we go. But you can see down here it's trying to push out something on that side too, so anyway, I'll just let it go for a bit. And these, I said I wasn't putting plants inside, but you also have to let some of them grow up a bit before you're ready to leave them outside all winter. And these are the 6 or so that have been living inside. However, temperatures are now returning to sort of 9-10 degrees Celsius, 8 to 10 degrees, somewhere there in terms of lows. So I've just taken them out for a few days. There's the Soursop. Soursop's doing great. The E4 Abiu, which I maintain is the best cold hardy or more cold hardy variety of Abiu. This is an E4 seedling. Look at that, so vivid and green. Compare that to the Z4 Friends. This guy, this guy and this guy. He's got a bit of new growth down the bottom, which is always a sure sign that he's not loving winter. but this guy looks like, you know, he reminds me of a Canistel in terms of how well he's growing. You know, lots of shoots out the side as well. So happy with that. And little branch coming out there. So I think I might be getting another E4, just the way that one's going. The marcotted star apple. I'll probably be potting it up at some point soon, I guess. I don't know what that's from, but otherwise it's doing okay. And the marcotted acerola cherry is doing alright as well. Alright, lots of limes and lemons on the tree here. Limes are getting old, they're going yellow, so they're overripe, but you know, they're okay. Just brought this guy today, the lime berry. I think I saw it on Doug's channel at some point. Saw it in Bunnings myself, I picked one up. Large leaf Japoticaba. Oh, this one's green sapote's doing really good. Green sapote seedling, Lucuma. Lucuma keeps on growing, which is great. Atherton Raspberry. I don't know what I'll do with this. It's such a prickly, you know, rambling kind of plant. It's just not a, you know, you want to find that corner in your garden that you don't go too much, and still receive sunlight, that you don't mind having a prickly plant in, and I don't have too many of those corners left, so I don't know what I'll do with that. Sapodilla. I'll show you my sapodilla for size. I know Brett showed his ones off recently. Well, Brett, you know, as you can see, mine's not doing that great either. It's a pretty small little tree and it's spitting out this tiny sort of new growth in these side branches, so yeah, it's a big waiting game with the old sapodilla, who knows. Japoticaba, this was a seedling I grew, doing really great. Keeps on growing, spitting out growth during winter, which I love. It's funny again, you know, I've bought Japoticabas, had them brought down from Queensland. First winter they die, or they look really unhappy, or what have you, where, you know, seedling Sabara that I planted myself, just loving it, you know, brought up in that in the same climate. Yeah, what am I trying to say? So I've raised it as a seedling in the same climate, and yeah, it doesn't mind it, right? Orange from the graft that I did. There's Teffy lime leaves on another graft there. So that's just a tour of the backyard. Maybe I'll show you what's cooking in the front yard on another video. Alright everyone, until the next video, bye for now. Alright, and just to show you the weather temperatures I was talking about, you can see here in the low for last week, 1.9 degrees on the June 15th. You know, but each day, you know, that was 3.7. There. 6.9, that's not too bad. Over here, 3.8. Yeah, if I go the week prior, yes, 3.4 June 10, 3.7 June 11, 5.3 on June 9, 6.5, yeah, 6.5 on June 8th. So you can see this is my weather system, which I should do another video on. I have sensors across the yard, so at the moment, you know, you can see that rainfall's wrong. It got reset. It's over 1200 millimeters now. There you go.